Greetings, folks. Welcome to another live launch. Blimey, it feels like I only did this last week. It's because I did. So thank you if you're tuning in again. I'm Tim Mendes. Look, I've got an octopus in a party hat. Awesome. What, you know. Yes, tonight I am celebrating the launch of my new novella, The Grime of the Ancient Mariner. Now, I've not actually got a copy of it yet, because my author copies haven't arrived yet. But I can show you the cover. Here we go. I personally love that. It's done by a guy called Max Green. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of when I used to go in the video shop, in Bond Street Video in Mac, and they had a back room where they had all the horror and the video nasties, as they were known back then. You know, all the tapes that Mary Whitehouse was trying to ban. And that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the cover of them old like splatter gore films from the 80s. You know, so look, I absolutely love it. It's got that really cool retro VHS cassette vibe to it. So yeah, the guy's done a tremendous job, an absolutely tremendous job. Yeah, so this is an unusual one. Slightly different for me. As much as I'm a fan of cosmic horror and things like that, I'm also a fan of true crime. I read a lot of true crime, and I'm a particular fan of the ones that are written by like people who worked the case, that kind of thing. Like Vincent Bugliosi's Helter Skelter is an absolute classic. And I like the way that was done. So I've always wanted to do a sort of a pastiche of that. Obviously not real. Or maybe it is. So I wanted, I've done a lot with Bethel's Cove CID, specifically Detective Inspector Baker and Detective Sergeant Finch. Them two guys have cropped up in a lot of my stuff now. And so I wanted to do one. And so basically it's told from the perspective of Detective Inspector Baker after the fact. So it's like a police report. So I wanted to get that sort of authenticity to it. So a lot of it is written like a police report. So there's like statements and things like that in it, and transcripts and all this kind of business. But also because it's a story, it has to have a proper narrative and all the rest of it. So it was an interesting one to write. It's I'm a big fan of the found footage films. So there's a few sequences like in the middle, which are done as found footage. And that was a hard thing to write. That was a very hard thing to write. It's almost like a script. But I had immense fun doing it. I just hope it works for people, because, like I say, it's quite an experimental one for me. This one. Now, I'm going to read you a little excerpt, but like I said, because of the way it's set up, I've had to go somewhere sort of in the middle to where the narrative has kicked in, when it's past the sort of policey, procedurally kind of bit, because I don't want to give away too much. You know, that's the issue with these things. I want to drag you in, but I don't want to give you too much that you don't have to buy the damn thing. Yeah, before I tell you a little bit about how it came about, I will be giving away 3 copies. Like I say, I haven't got them yet. They've not arrived yet. But I will be giving away 3 signed copies, as is my want. Like I say, as usual, if you want in with a shout, there you go. There's the phrase. Say, give me tentacles in the comments, or just a gif of an octopus, or a little emoji of a squid, something tentacular. And I will enter you then into the old prize draw. I will do the prize draw at the same time when they turn up, because I'll do like an unboxing thing, and I'll do the prize draw and show off the book. Little Demon Books, who are the people putting this out, it's part of their Little Terrors series of novellas. It's the 3rd in the series. I've been in a couple of their publications before. They've not been around very long, and they've got a regular publication called Little Demon Digest. And I've been lucky enough that I was in the first one. Nope, that one. I was in Volume 1 and Volume 3. That one's got my story More Tea Vicar, and that one's got my story Once Bitten. And they're actually two of my most bonkers. So I was already, and so because they'd taken those, I thought, when I saw the call go up for novellas, I thought, well, I may as well, give it a shot. I had this one ready to go. It's one that I've written quite a while ago, but it's gone through several drafts. Because of the nature of it, it's quite hard to get right. So how it came about. It's been one of those when people have asked me to try and explain it. I really had a hard time. When I'm writing, I have to have noise. And that noise can either be music, the radio, the TV on the background. It just so happens one day I had the TV on, and it was the American version of Kitchen Nightmares, right? I used to quite like the British one because it was actually fairly, from a chef's perspective, it was fairly interesting. But the American one is just garbage. It's very little about it. It's about food. It's all like it's like restaurant manager Timmy didn't get a tricycle when he was 6. Can he get over this emotional heartache? It's just garbage. And I thought to myself, and I was just I was sat there watching it in the background. And I was just like, one of these days he's going to pick the wrong guy. He's going to go in there and he's going to pick the wrong guy, and Don Corleone's Pizzeria or something like that. And then the hamster started running in the wheel, and I thought, ooh, what if the gastropub that he was doing was run by something other than human? So that's basically how it came about. So as you can imagine, there's a hefty dollop of the Lovecraftian in there because it's me, and I can't resist getting a bit of the old a bit of the old cosmic in there. So yes, if you want to get hold of a copy, this is how you do it. There should be a bunch of links in the comments section. I did try and post them earlier, but it was being weird. So have a look. There should be links in the comment section that you can just sort of click on. It makes your life easier. But if you can't, that's all you do is just type in getbook.app/ancient_mariner, and that will take you to Amazon. That will take you to your Amazon wherever you are in the world. Right. Yes. So I will have answer some questions after I've done a little bit of a reading. It won't be a very long one because, like I say, it's not the sort of story that lends that well to live reading, really. But I've found a section that I think I might enjoy. So like I say, get some questions down if you want to, and also get in the comment section, give me tentacles, something like that, and I will enter you into the old prize draw. Okay, so let me just hide that for a minute. Right, so here we go. Here is an excerpt from the Grime of the Ancient Mariner. D.S. Finch and I arrived at the Ancient Mariner at 9:05 to find Stanley Elliot sweeping out the bin area around the back of the building. When I asked him if I could see Frank and Jane, he fixed me with his famously unblinking stare and grunted that he'll be around in around 10 in his usual surly manner. When Finch asked politely if we could wait inside, he was told in no uncertain terms to piss off. We decided to forego asking Stanley any questions about the missing men for the moment, as we wanted to challenge Frank first, and instead went and waited in the car. During the wait, Finch remarked that there was an impressively foul odour emanating from the far corner of the yard. This led us to think that they had not cleaned the place up as much as the vaunted reopening would suggest. We watched Stanley Elliot like hawks during our long wait, and at no point did we see him use a mobile phone. So as far as we knew, Frank was still unaware of our presence. Just before the hour, a blue Ford Focus pulled into the car park where we were patiently waiting. The car was being driven at that time by the hulking Frank Elliot. Jane Elliot was sitting in the passenger seat, and it appeared that the two were locked in a rather one-sided argument. Frank was yelling something at Jane, who looked scared to her bones. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear what was being said, though Finch, who is a good lip reader, swears that Frank was telling his wife to keep your fucking mouth shut, and is willing to go on record to testify as such. Finch and I stepped out of our unmarked car and strode towards Frank and Jane Elliot. Frank did not seem at all shocked to see us and offered us a sarcastic greeting. The source of Frank's tipping off was quickly revealed. Benjamin Elliot was apparently inside the pub and had phoned him after spotting us talking to Stan. I walked up to him and offered my hand, which he flatly refused. "It's been a while, Frank. How are things with you? Beat up any tourists lately?" I said with a smile designed to irritate. "Cut the shit, Baker. What do you and your dancing monkey want?" he spat. "Shall we go inside?" I asked cordially. "Nah, I don't think so. Whatever you want to say, you can fucking say it out here." Frank scowled. He had straightened himself up to his full height, like a cat trying to intimidate a fox. Stan and Ben Elliot moved closer to Finch and myself as we talked to their sibling, and were practically right behind us. I must confess to feeling a trifle terrified at the thought of being the filling in an Elliot sandwich, and regretted not bringing Jessup and Simmons with us. Finch bristled, taking offence at being described as the dancing monkey. Finch is no small man himself, and steadfastly refused to be intimidated, taking a step closer towards Frank Elliot. I quickly put my hand on Finch's shoulder to rein him in, then tried to placate Mr. Elliot. "Look, none of you lot is in any trouble. We're just looking for 3 missing persons. From what we can gather, their last known whereabouts was here on the 24th. All we want to know is if you have any idea about where they may have gone after their appointment with you. That's all." I smiled. "Who's missing then?" Frank growled. Sounded like he was chewing a brick. "An EHO called Thomas Miller, Chef Oliver Ramsbottom, and a cameraman called James Fuller. We know that Mr. Miller had a follow-up visit booked after hitting you with a temporary closure order." "Oh, those cocksuckers," Frank growled, baring his teeth. "Well, they turned up and tried to stitch us up with some fucking TV show bollocks, then said we could reopen and fucked off in the cameraman's car. I told them if I ever clapped eyes on them again, I'd fucking gut them after what they tried to pull." Frank shook his fist as he talked, his knuckles white as porcelain. "If my lovely wife here hadn't spent her time in hospital after me son's birth watching shit on the TV, we'd never have known. Ain't that right, Jane?" "Jane!" Jane Elliot had been in a daze ever since she had stepped out the car, and had cowered in the looming shadow of her husband. To be brutally honest, I'd almost completely forgotten that she was present. Startled by her husband's curt bellow, Jane stammered, "What? Yes, that's right." Her voice brought to mind a particularly nervous mouse. "I knew what was going on because I always watched Mr. Ramsbottom's show. I was such a big fan. He signed a book for me before." Mrs. Elliot trailed off as she caught a sharp glance from her husband. "Before I kicked him out for being a cheating, lying cocksucker. Ain't that right, Jane?" Frank finished her wife's sentence pointedly. "Yes, that's right. I don't like him anymore," Mrs. Elliot squeaked before shrinking behind her husband's wide back once again. Frank gave a wide, leering grin that once again showed off his pointy-looking teeth. He looked to me like that shark from Finding Nemo. "So that's all we know, Baker, so why don't you and your boyfriend fuck off back to Bacon Land and push some files about a bit?" he scowled. "We would like to take a look around if we could. Please, Mr. Elliot, just to eliminate the place from our inquiries," I said in the nicest tone I could muster in the circumstances. Finch was tensed up like a bulldog ready to pounce. I kept my hand firmly on his shoulder. "Unless you got a warrant, you can fuck right off," was Frank's unsavoury response. The brothers Elliot were blocking the entrance to the back of the building like an impenetrable wall of meat. Temporarily stymied, Finch and I left, waving a cheery "tatty bye for now, Frank," as we went. Upon returning to the car, Finch punched the dashboard, causing the good love box to explode, showering the car interior with pens, notebooks, maps, and other assorted crap. "Fuck," he spat, then leaned forward to pick everything up. I must confess to sharing his frustration and could excuse his outburst. I wasn't the dancing monkey after all. By default, I was deemed the organ grinder of our particular duo. As we sat there, desperately trying to calm down, we discussed what we had just seen. The Elliots were hostile and uncooperative, yes. But the Elliots are always hostile and uncooperative. No, what got our guts was the furtive behaviour of Mrs. Elliot. The woman was very obviously petrified of her domineering husband, and it was clear that the whole bunch of them were hiding something. Whether it was anything to do with the missing trio remained to be seen. As we sat and simmered, one of the local fishermen approached the rear of the premises with a wheelbarrow. He was one of the Tremaine family, an old-timer named Bill. He was greeted by Ben Elliot, who handed him a roll of cash and took the freshly caught and iced mackerel from him. This gave me an idea. "Hey, Finch, you hungry?" I asked. "Nah, I'm far too pissed off to be hungry," Finch replied. "Well, do you think you'll be hungry in about, I looked at my watch, about 90 minutes? "Maybe," Finch thought for a second. "Probably. Why?" "Well, they can deny our entering their back of house area," a smile spread across my lips. "But they can't very well turn away paying customers now, can they?" "I guess not," Finch grinned. "Good plan. Just one thing though, Gov." "What's that?" "Don't have the veal." Right, I will leave it there. That was an excerpt of my new novella, The Grime of the Ancient Mariner, which is out now from Little Demon Books. If you want to check out their website, that is littledemon.wordpress.com. Like I say, it's the third in a series of novellas called Little Terrors. I know the one that came out previously was by the guy who did the cover for mine. So the cover for that is very similar, but it's different but similar, if you know what I mean. It's like VHS all over again. It's called The Slugs, and it's on my to-read list, because if it's anything like the old horror film Slugs, I'm going to love it. That was brilliant. The bit with the slug with teeth that bit someone was genius. One of the best bits of cinema ever, in my opinion. Yeah. Grime of the Ancient Mariner is out now. So, yeah, if you want to get hold of a copy, that is getbook.app/ancient_mariner. Like I said, if you want to be included in the prize draw, give me some tentacles. That's me asking you. Either say give me some tentacles, or you give me some tentacles. Give me some tentacles in the comments. Right, speaking of comments, now let's have a look. See if they've got any here. Oh, hello. I don't know if that link, I don't know if that worked or not. There should be a bunch of links there, but it doesn't look like it's posted. I'll do it again. Here we go. Come on. Behave, StreamYard. Yep. Deborah Grime says, "Remind me not to eat at this restaurant." Yeah, it's probably a good idea. And if you did, don't have the veal. Morning, Neen. How you doing? Bright and breezy for you over in Australia. No, cheers, Chris. Nice. Yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better at making them. I've discovered a place where I can get some really good stock footage and stuff. So I'm having good fun. Hey, how you doing, Eric? Do I do usual? Not really. I think conventional is for other people, I think. Yeah, give me 10 T's. Well, that's very strange. I don't know why I'm responding if you can't actually see it. Just reload the page. Why am I talking? If she can't see it, she can't see it, Tim. It'll be up on my YouTube channel at some point anyway. So, hiya, Sarah. If you're not hearing me now, you'll be hearing me when I do the replay. So it will be on my YouTube channel. Give me tentacles. Yeah, got lots of. Oh, it did post at the start. Oh, it did. Right. Well, because it came up with a little red X on it on my feed. You know, little red X. I don't know what's going on. I think it's broken. Well, hey, there's a squid. Yeah. My redneck is top notch. Cheers. Lost your appetite. Nice one. Excellent. Well, thank you all for tuning in. That's hilarious. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Like I say, the book is out now from Little Demon Books. It's getbook.app/ancient_mariner. And that is how you get a hold of it. Thank you again for joining me. I will be back. I think I'll be back next week at some point because I'll be doing a launch for Breaking Rules Europe about the book 2 and 3 in their Adventure Awaits series. I've not organised that yet, but it is on the cards. So people who have asked about it, yes, it is happening. I've just been up to the eyeballs in videos and promotion and stuff like that. I've just not got around to it yet, but I will. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me. And yeah, I hope if you buy it, you like it. So I'll leave you with the trailer. And yeah, I will see you all soon. Thank you very much. Good night.